What's up, YouTube? Brad Hoover from Rants here. Alright, so this is going to be our What If Episode 3 review here on Rants. Overall, I make no bones about it. I absolutely hated the first two episodes of the What If series, with Episode 2 being the most abhorrent in my view, because it kind of pulled a WandaVision season or series finale moment when it had T'Challa talking Thanos out of destroying half the universe. That was just reprehensible in my view. It ruined everything that the MCU had been working up to since really the last decade. And for them to just be like, oh, we're just going to have this little blow-off joke, kind of, I don't know, I guess MCU humor that's really kind of getting old after about a decade. But having that as being a joke, where, oh, well, T'Challa actually just talked him out of it. That just ruined a lot of things for me, and it really made me mad at Marvel for taking something that was such a build-up over a decade and then just kind of being like, we just, he had a talk with T'Challa, and he decided that that's not what he wants to do anymore. That just, it just blew my mind at how stupid that was. But luckily, What If Episode 3 actually was pretty interesting. Really interesting. Completely changed what the first two had done. Instead of replacing different characters and switching their positions, basically, they actually changed the scenario. And that's really what the What If series should have been from the very get-go. Was what if these scenarios was switched and or changed in just even the slightest bit? What if that would have happened, and instead of, I don't know, Steve Rogers being Captain America, he died in the war, and let's say the Nazis took over, that, or Hydra took over. That would have been that would be an interesting what if situation. Or what if in that situation the Avengers was formed in a completely different way? That would be really cool if they would have explored it in that way. But instead, the first two, they were like, we're just going to switch up characters and we're going to go from there. But this one was really different, really unique. It was basically a what if the Avengers never assembled? What if they were taken out one by one by one by one, and we never got to see them? They never fought Loki, and the consequences from that that was really unique and different. And I loved how they started it off, with the whole Tony Stark and the donut shop, and you have Nick Fury, and you have Black Widow in there just kind of talking to him, explaining the situation to him. And then, she stabs him with that needle, and instead of it at least temporarily healing him from the power that's inside of his little thing in his chest, instead of it temporarily healing him, it actually ends up killing him. And so then the whole situation goes into, okay, did Black Widow kill him? Her having to be on the run, her having to find out, okay, who is taking out each and every single one of these Avengers. And it really kind of turned into a unique thing. The whole time I was thinking, okay, it's going to be some big baddie. But it actually turned out to be someone that I didn't expect at all, which was basically my only gripe that I actually did have with this episode, was it never explained what happened to Hope Van Dyne. I mean, at the end of the episode, you find out that the whole thing was about Hope Van Dyne, somebody that I would have never thought about in a million years. And you find out that in this scenario, she's actually dead. She was a agent for for Shield, and she had died in one of the missions. And you find out that Hank Pym actually blames Nick Fury for it. He blames Shield for it. So he goes and he tries to kill every single one of the Avengers before they're even, like I said, assembled. Which, some of the problems that I do have with that is, how would Hank Pym even know about the Avengers project? Why would he go after to take out the Avengers? Why would he just not, I don't know, go after Nick Fury? Because, I mean, you can look at it this way. The Avengers were never brought into S.H.I.E.L.D. in the first place. So why go to the trouble of taking them out when you could just, I don't know, take out Nick Fury in S.H.I.E.L.D.? That seems to be the more logical situation, and that's something that really wasn't explored. It wasn't ever explored of why Hope Van Dyne was killed in the very first place, what happened to her. So that's just some of my little gripes that I've got with this episode. But overall, I enjoyed the mystery of it. I enjoyed that we got to see all of our favorite superheroes actually offed. In some really unique situations. So yeah, I really like this episode. I know, at the end of the episode, I started coming to the conclusion, okay, how did Hank Pym know about the Avengers, and why go after the Avengers? Why not just go after the ones that is responsible for your wife's death? I mean, for Hope Van Dyne's death. I didn't understand that. But instead, they went that direction. They owned it, and I thought they did a really good job of selling it. Even though at the end of it, I was kind of like, that kind of didn't make any sense. But I still enjoyed the journey. Even though the destination at the end really kind of didn't make any sense once I thought about it. The journey to that was fun. The murder mystery to that was fascinating. I had all these different people lined up of who it's going to be in my head, and it turned out to be no one that I would ever expect. I would never have expected Hank Pym. But you know what? That's kind of cool in a way, because it shows what he could have done, how powerful Ant-Man actually could have been, and how dangerous Hank Pym could have been if he turned to be a villain. Basically, he's someone that would have been able to wipe out anybody at his own discretion without them even knowing about it. He could have killed anybody that he wanted to. It just shows you just how dangerous that particular superhero could be and can be in the future if they so wish to go down that route, which they probably won't. But that just kind of leads, again, to this what if scenario, and I thought it was brilliantly played out from beginning to end. So, you know what? Marvel, I felt like you dropped the ball on episode 1 and episode 2 of the What If series, but episode 3, I thought you did a fantastic job of bringing it back into, let's not change superheroes out for one another. Let's change scenarios. Let's see what happens. We also did get an answer basically to, where does Black Widow character go from here? Well, apparently it's not going to be Scarlett Johansson that's going to either be voicing her or in live action either. Instead, they went with Lake Bale, who is actually the voice of Poison Ivy in the Harley Quinn series. And I thought she did a really good job. Really interesting. Definitely doesn't sound anything like a Scarlett Johansson in the least bit. But it was still fun to, still fun character. It didn't change much. Of course, there's no way they could do that in live action. Fans would be in uproar, and rightfully so. It'd be something. You couldn't just have somebody else take Scarlett Johansson's role as Black Widow. I don't think fans would accept it at all. But it was kind of cool that we got our answer about where Disney and Marvel are going to go from here after Scarlett Johansson when it comes to that character. I think this will probably be the last time we actually get to see this character on screen, unless it, well, I'll say this. They'll have her in like future Avengers cartoons. They'll have that. It won't be Scarlett Johansson voicing her in any form or fashion. But as far as something like a What If series or a anything that is beyond just a regular cartoon form in live action, yeah, we won't. That's the end of seeing the Black Widow character. I believe. I don't think that they'll continue without Scarlett Johansson. But I'm glad we at least got an answer for that. But yeah, overall, touche, Marvel. You actually did a really good what if scenario, and it was a fun episode. I really hated for this episode to end. I'm really looking forward to the next episode now, which, I'll be honest, the reason why it's taken me so long to watch this one is because I was like, oh, what are they going to change out now? Are they going to be like, oh, well, what if, Black Widow was, I don't know, the Hulk? And what if the Hulk was Black Widow? Something along those lines. I thought it was going to be something stupid like that. But they actually surprised me on this one. It was really great. I'd give it about a 9 out of 10. Even though when you really get to thinking about it, it really didn't make that much sense. But overall, guys, let me know what y'all think. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you looking forward to the next episode? As always, guys, thanks for watching.